All right, gotta re-record. So, what's going on, everybody? Elijah Fatal, Fatal Book here, man. We're coming through today with another YouTube video, and we're gonna be detailing our artist journey so far as our emotional trauma that we've been experiencing and have experienced, and also the actions that we've been taking as a musical artist during our last 7 months of being a music artist. So, for those that don't know me, like I said, my name is Elijah Fatal. I'm an independent music artist. I do hip hop and R&B. Those are the two genres that I mainly write and record. But I do plan on branching off into other genres later on down the line. Um, Once again, in this video, we'll be detailing our emotional journey and our actions that we've taken so far. So in the last video, I detailed everything up to that point. Not the last video, but my last artist journey video. Been talking about research that I did before I dropped my first single, No Answer. The day I decided to actually be a music artist, which was May 28th, 2022, or May 25th, excuse me. May 25th, 2022 was the day I decided I was going to do music seriously. And then June 28th or June 30th, one of those days, 2022, I dropped my first single, No Answer. I have a lot of things that's coming in the future, and I made June 28th sounds like the right day for No Answer dropping. Um, but yeah, I dropped my first single, No Answer, 30 days after I decided to become a full time music artist. And when I say full time, it's not like I'm actively doing only music. I work a full time job as well, but I mean full time as in bettering myself, because while I've been doing my music journey, I've been finding out a lot about myself that I didn't know before. So, um, just been going on this music journey and just trying to learn as much as I can, and then not educate, but just share the knowledge that I've learned over the last few months with other people who are deciding to do music or want to get into the music industry. Um, so if you guys could check out that last video on my artist journey, where I detail the research I've done, how you have to buy your licenses, make sure your producer gets paid. Like I detail all of that in that first video. So I'd appreciate if you guys could look at that video. I'll put my Koji link in the description. That video will have my YouTube video in there, as long as an introduction to me. If you don't know me, this is your first time coming here. So, like I said, June 20th. Oh, I think it's June 20th. Excuse me. I'm getting my dates all messed up, y'all. Excuse me. May 25th was the day I decided to do music full time. That's the day that I was sitting down in my roommate's apartment, and I was alone, and I was like, I don't want to just be sitting here playing games and smoking weed all day. I actively want to, I want to do music. And I always talked about doing music as a child. I always talked about doing music as a child. But this was the first year I actually became serious about it. And I've learned a lot in my last 7 months of being an artist. And it's been 7 months legit. 7 months just passed, because May plus 7 equals 12. Yeah, so 7 months just passed. So I'm not even a year into music yet. Um, and I've experienced a lot, I've seen a lot, I've felt a lot, and that's what this video is going to be about. So, emotionally, um, this can get very hard, and my actions during this time have not been the best of actions. So, for context, I am African American, I'm black, and the confidence that I show in this video to even speak to you guys, to your eyes, is not the confidence I always had when I was growing up. I was the son of a single mother. I'm the oldest son. I have a younger brother and sister. Um, I grew up and I was bullied every fucking day of my life. I heard something that was wrong with me. Um, my mom, your mother's supposed to tell you. Well, not supposed. Let me not say that. My mom, told me good things about me. Um, but we've also had our own separate issues at the same time too. So, not to say I didn't believe her, but it's like, damn, like I just want us to be on the same page at the same time, and it wasn't working like that sometimes. But you gotta love your mom. I still love my mom, but we're just two different people. And this is not a video to bash my mother. Like, she's done a great job. a wonderful job with 3 kids by herself. My stepfather was around. My brother and sister's father. He was around. Like he was there to raise us or whatever. But he was he was gone a lot of the time. Or when he was in the house, he wasn't like actively, to my memory, actively being in our lives. But from my mom, what I understand is that he took care of us, and I guess he did his job for what it was worth. But I remember the day that we came home. I remember this day like it was yesterday. I remember the entire apartment layout. I remember the um, the swords that we had in the closet. He had swords in the closet. I think it was from the fucking gas station. This is when everybody had fucking swords. I don't know what the fuck the craze was about swords, but swords. Anyway, um, I remember the day we came home and he was gone and he left. You know, um, years ago. I can't hold it to him now, but I hold him accountable for what he's done because when he left, I had to become the man of the house. So that means that I had to watch my brother and sister all the time. I had to make sure they were fed. I had to make sure they were clothed. I had to make sure that I got them from school. I didn't go outside to hang out with my friends until later on in my life when I hit high school because my life was built around my brother and sister. Um, we stayed with our aunts down there in Georgia for a little while. I'm originally from Connecticut. I was born in New York, and we went to Georgia for 5 years of my life. Uh, so we had family down there, but we weren't a close knit family. We were not a close knit family, I should say. Um, all families have their issues, but we moved around a lot. Um, I had a babysitter growing up, you know, uh, but we've grown apart. You know what I mean? But it's not like my childhood was all bad. It's basically what I'm saying. Excuse me. Indigestion from the video. I my childhood wasn't that bad, but there are things that I've survived in my childhood that you know, they definitely shaped me to who I am today. And this is tied into music because I always said I wanted to do music. The one thing I always said when I was growing up was I want to do music. And now that I'm doing it, I didn't know that there was this much work that I was going to be putting in. Um, like I said, I grew up. I've heard jokes about my skin, about my teeth. I can smile now. Um, I've heard, Four Eyes, like, all that shit. I've heard Eddie Murphy, Donkey, you know, um, Kunta Kinte is a recent one. Um, I guess a slave to work or a slave to trying to help people. But, what I'm saying is I've heard a lot of names that weren't Elijah Fatal. That's my name, Elijah Fatal. And I had to, grow up with this feeling like I wasn't worthy to be, liked for who I am. We've had times where we were homeless. We've had times where, we lived in shelters. Like I said, I remember after my stepfather left, we were in shelters a lot. My father, he lived in New York, so we wasn't as close either. I talked to him from time to time, but my father passed away when I was 15 years old, and I am currently 24 years old. So 9 years, going on a decade now, I've been without my father. Um, Around the same time that I've been already having to deal with being the man of the house, uh, and it was sprung on me, but I don't regret it. I would take care of my brothers and sisters again, but sorry, I just started thinking. Um, I would rather my brother and sister have their father in their life, and so would I. Um, so my emotions at this current point, I am very emotional. I think with my emotions before I think logically, and I'm learning to get away from that. And that's something that I've learned as an artist, especially trying to make it in the music business. You have to be logical with what you're doing. Like you can't just be moving all willy nilly with your emotions. Um, so my emotions got me to a point this year where I said, my inspiration for this year was I've seen people who actively do music Like one of my friends, she was like, she's a songwriter. She gets paid for doing her songs. She'd bring home bread, and as a man, I'm just like, damn, you making more money than I am at a job doing what you actually want to do in music. And then I have a friend that I've known in high school who was kind of like a rival to me. Um, he was on Hot 93.7 one time, and not to say I was jealous of these two individuals, but seeing how they were actively taking chances and actively being in the music business, I was like, I know I can do that. I've never ever in my life felt like I could do something positive for myself. My life revolved around making sure my brother and sister were good. Um, you know, I did have a girlfriend growing up. I had a few girlfriends growing up, but my one real, oh, well, I had two real girlfriends, three, but my real relationship didn't come until high school when I was a sophomore. And I've been through a lot of shit in school. I embarrassed myself in freshman year. Um, fucking band class. I don't want to say exactly what happened. Band class was embarrassing in my freshman year. I you know, it's gonna be so fucking hard saying this shit. But I really was bullied for being the cable glasses, the ugly cable glasses. And there's a day in band class where I had peed myself in freshman year of high school because I was told I could not use the bathroom. Very embarrassing, but it's grown. I've grown with my life and with my truth. Um, but that was a very hard time also to go through. So not only do I lose my father, we're in shelters. Your boy's pissing himself in high school. I had a pretty. I remember we also we used to go to houses. We used to live with other people in their houses. So I remember we lived in one family house with three families in it. Like imagine. Um, so one night, me and the oldest boy of the main family, we went to go steal some wood because it was cold in the house. So we went to go take some wood for the fireplace, and the guys, the guy who owned his house, he found us. He called us, called the cops, and I remember having a gun to my face, and you know, my whole life flashed before my eyes. This is shit that happened years ago, but this is just to give context as to what I've been through for myself personally before becoming a music artist. My entire image and brand and my personality is based in telling the truth. So even though it's hard, it gets so hard telling the fucking truth and being for real. But I think it's just the anxiety or the uncomfortableness of what other people would think and what they say. But even on my best day, people are gonna say shit and talk shit, so it doesn't matter. It does hurt sometimes. Um, it hurts the little boy in me, but I've grown to be a man who is okay with talking about his truth. So, excuse me. Um, Growing up, I was smoking weed. I've smoked a lot of weed in my time. I've taken time away to stop smoking weed because I have been noticing changes within myself after I smoke weed, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not too comfortable. So I don't smoke any weed anymore. I don't drink. So I've been living with whatever issues I have, loving myself through them, and also staying sober. So anybody watching this video, I'm sober. But recently, I've had a time in my life where I've also I did a lot of fucked up shit while I was high, and it's gonna stay with me for the rest of my life. And it's taken me time to get past that point in my life too because it's so recent. I'm seeing a therapist for it, but even that, like growing up and thinking about therapy, like that was never a thing for me. So to wrap this all up, how does this correlate with my artist journey, my music journey? Because I've never been able to talk about this before this point in my life. I've never been able to talk about the things I've gone through in a way where I was okay talking about them and not crying about them every fucking 2 seconds. Excuse my language. But, my dad died when I was 15. I got my girlfriend at the time pregnant when I was 17. We lost our child together. I still have the poster that she made for me of him right here next to my window. So I I've been through some shit. I've been through some shit. And this year, seeing other people actively do the music journey that they wanted to do, or at least pursue it, I said, there's no excuse for me. So I went and, I did my research, like I said in the last video. And I also, um, I got my first license, like I said in the next video. But all the songs I've made, I don't make songs about, bitches shaking their ass. God forgive me, God forgive me. Women shaking their ass. We respect women over here. I don't make videos about women shaking their ass. I don't make videos about selling drugs or shooting up people. I make music for what I feel and what I'm going through at the time and the life that I lived. And that's where No Answer, Motivated, Strength, and Been Waiting come into play. My EP, Been Waiting, is available on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. You guys can go check that out. Um, Once again, link in my Koji. And those four songs are all about what I've dealt with this year, and if not this year, then what I've been through in my life. Period. Uh, no Answer is a song about basically jealousy, about jealousy basically, and about you know me asking from the perspective of somebody who is having their time from their loved one taken away from them. uh, I sing on the hook, which is something I don't usually do. And, you know, I asked the question in the hook like it's 2 or 3 a.m. and I'm calling your phone. I'm calling your phone. Is your nigga home? Tell me that your nigga gone. I've been through that. I've been through the sides where, I'm calling at 2 or 3 a.m. And I've been through the side where, the person I'm hanging out with, or the woman I'm hanging out with, is getting called at that time. Um, my next song on that EP is Motivated, where I had to literally get myself up off my ass and write music. I already bought the license for Motivated, but I didn't actively write to it. So I wrote 1 or 2 pages to it in a single day. Motivated is a fucking freestyle. Like people say, oh, if it's written, it's not a freestyle. Motivated is a freestyle. I didn't have a recording studio time, so I'm not gonna be going in there wasting time trying to freestyle the whole thing. I already paid for the beat, so I wrote down the bars in like one day. Motivated is a freestyle because I usually go back and re-record and do this, and Motivated was like literally in one single day I recorded Motivated. Strength is my favorite song that I've written and recorded so far because Strength is my letter to myself about basically not wanting to basically about not wanting to be here. Strength is a suicide note. And I say that plainly, clearly. Strength is a suicide note. And Strength is my number one song that's played right now, which is crazy because Motivated was my number one song getting streamed, but Strength is now the number one song I'm getting streamed right now. Um, the hook goes, I've been feeling lazy, my mind running out of space and my heart empty. I've been going through some things ever since you left me, and I grissom through the pain like my name was Freddie. Deadly is a dream that just isn't ready. The mind and body carrying be getting heavy. I keep the shovel ready. I done you dirty, ran your name through the mud. I sold your worth, and now I see you rise above it, love. Like that's a song that's basically saying like, yeah, my heart is in the grave. I'm already dead. Like I'm just writing this shit just to write. I remember writing that song at the park, with my friend's dog. I would take my friend's dog out to the park. Um, yeah, I wrote that song in the park and that song is my favorite song because I put the most emotion that I've ever had into fucking Strength. Like everything I had went into Strength, and that's the song I used to have Strength as my ringtone before I just reset my phone. But Strength was my alarm clock for my song, um, because I literally use that song as a reason to get up. And excuse me, my final song on the EP Been Waiting is the self-titled song Been Waiting. This song was the most emotional and vulnerable, I would say, because while I'm singing, I know answers 2 or 3 a.m. But Been Waiting is, I've been tweaking, I've been fiending, I ain't seen you all day. I know you be in the streets and you just trying to get paid. I remember I was coming home to my roommate's house, and their dog used to run around, and he'd be fucking going crazy when I came home and shit. So I got the hook from him. Like he's the reason why that hook is there. That's how much emotion I have that I got a hook from a song from a dog. Um, but even that song, I've been noticing things about me, like how I am as a person. Um, and that song is just it's just also me singing, rapping, and being for real about what I was going through at that time. Just talking about being patient with life, being patient with waiting to have somebody to yourself. Like that's what been waiting is about. And the culmination of those songs, basically, you end up with a catalog of feelings that I was having and the actions I was taking. I went to record all these songs at the studio. My man's Danny D Meds. Shout out to Danny. I'm gonna always say his fucking name. Danny D Meds. D Meds CT on Instagram. Dude. Oh, D Meds. He's on fucking YouTube, man. Go find D Meds on YouTube. Um, he literally we met on Instagram. We talked for a little bit, and I was like, "Yo, man, can I come over and record this music?" And that's what the fuck it was. I don't know this dude from a fucking can of paint. And he don't know me. I could have been some fucking crazy nigga, and we literally linked up to do this song. The songs I recorded, and he mixed and mastered them for me. So thank you, Danny. But um, that's just to show that no matter where this goes, I've committed my life to telling the truth, my truth, and recording it. And wherever this leads me is wherever it leads me. But this is all from the heart. Every single fucking bar is from the heart, except for motivated. Motivated was a I ain't even being too motivated. Pussy be soaking, baby. I fuck her one time and she called me her dope replacement. Like that's like I fucking hate. Excuse me. I dislike motivated so fucking much because that's not it's not like I like emotional shit, but people get hyped to motivated, bro. People love motivated. Like y'all go stream motivated by Fatal Book and then come back here and tell me what you think about it. One in that song, literally Danny was like, "Yo, I showed somebody this song and they was like, yo, if this person that recorded the song keeps going, they're gonna be a fucking star, a superstar." And ever since then, I just been keep going. I'm just like, yo, I know motivators that track like motivators crazy because I flow completely different. Whereas I don't like motivated for being not emotional, I went punchline heavy on that song. Like I was like, I'm Peter, I'm Peter, I'm Peter, I'm Peter. You see me at one of my lowest of points and I'm down in my feelings. I like me a joint. That shit is hard. That shit is hard. It's not emotional, but that shit hard. Um, yeah, but that's where I'm at right now musically, 7 months after my journey. So to wrap it up, once again, um, my emotions were never actively talked about as a child, and now I'm talking about them through music, and that's the reason why I'm doing music. My actions up until this point, I have a bunch of actions that I'm kind of I make some bad decisions and I made some good decisions. I copped my studio after my car got towed. With the money I could have used to get my car out the tow, I used to cop a studio. Like yeah, and a computer because a computer is not combined with the studio. Studio, excuse me. So yeah, that's my artist journey emotionally. Also, if you go back to my old videos, you could literally see me crying in my old videos because I'm just so fucking emotional, bro. And however people look at me is however people look at me, but I'm so fucking emotional. It gets me upset. But yeah, uh, next video on Wednesday, I'm gonna be trying to get these videos more uploaded on Wednesday usually by nighttime because I'm trying to be consistent, but it's like you gotta want this more. You gotta want this more, and I want this more than anything, and I'm just not proving it to myself, so I have to prove it to myself. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, my name is Elijah Fatal, aka for the Fatal Book. You guys can find me everywhere: YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. I'll leave my Koji link in the description. Connect with me, and yeah, let's keep the Fatal family going. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I might not post on New Year's, so you guys have a great, wonderful New Year. Please stay safe. Please stay great. And once again, go find my EP. been waiting on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. The link will be in the code in the description. Peace out, guys. Checking out. Bye. All right.